To week 9, big bye week, GPP Master Elite and Strategy video. We keep missing and hitting. So 2 weeks ago, we just knocked that out of the park. Last weekend was so-so. So this should be a good week. I got this guy here today with me. So we're going to unprofessional route for you guys today because it's his 14th birthday, 98 human years. So we are going to have him here. We got the DraftKings Championship sweatshirt on for some good luck. We have a huge opportunity this week. This is an important week strategically because of all the buys. Brady's out, Gronk's out, AJ Green's out, David Johnson's out, the entire Redskins offense is out. So there are some factors eliminated. This is a week to really hone in and have a great shot. So let's start with quarterback. First of all, the top 5, because I am going to play 10 quarterback lineups this weekend. Okay, so the top 5, I like Ryan Tannehill at 5,600, number 1 against the Jets, 31st defense. We'll come back to the stack there in a bit. I like Phillip Rivers versus the 20th defense at 6,500. I like Aaron Rodgers in what should be a shootout. He's expensive, 7,800 bucks. The Colts can't defend the pass. The game's in Green Bay. The over-under has gone from 52.5 to 54.5, so Vegas thinks there's going to be a lot of points. So I like luck on the back end of that too. We'll come back to that strategically. I'll be taking Rodgers, stack, Indy stack, receiver, luck, Indy stack, receiver, Green Bay receiver in the same lineup. And I like Drew Brees. A little worried about that one at 7,200, only because I think they kind of rediscovered their running game here with Hightower, and San Francisco cannot stop the run. And that game could be a ball control kind of game, but the over-under in Vegas is pretty high. So, Breeze can light it up quickly, as we know. My kind of sleeper quarterbacks, killing me most weeks, but he had the 1 week where he threw up 53 points, and that's Trevor Siemian. This is a great matchup. I mean, they're playing the Raiders. The Raiders' pass defense is terrible. I know it's at Oakland, but he's got 2 studs, really, in Thomas and Sanders. We'll come back to them. So I like Siemian cheap at 5,100. I like Flacco. Even though Pittsburgh's a tough matchup, Flacco can throw the ball. This is a Mike Wallace revenge game, and Pittsburgh's pass defense was torched by the Patriots. I mean, they're not very good. This is going to be a crazy flyer one. I'm kind of going to take a lineup and roll the dice with a Sam Bradford at $5,000 and dig stack, because by doing that, you're going to free up a lot of salary, and if Bradford throws him 2 long touchdowns, then that pays out for sure. And I'm thinking about Cam Newton as my last one. We'll see. I always like Cam on the right day. Oh, and then the 10th would be Kaepernick in that Saints game. But I don't necessarily see stacking him. Maybe, all right, Biden, putting this guy down. Maybe with AJ, maybe with Torrey Smith for the deep ball. But Kaepernick can run in a couple touchdowns, run for 80 yards. And New Orleans cannot defend the pass. So possibly he'll be my 10th there. Running back. So here's the deal. We all know how good Zeke has been. We know Zeke is playing Cleveland. Everybody runs on Cleveland. While I like Dez and Dak in that game, that could turn into a blowout. It could turn into a game where the Cowboys run. And you just cannot right now. In a cash game, obviously, you cannot fade Zeke. I don't even think you can fade him in this game in a GPP. I think he has to be in almost every lineup. You can fade him in like a couple, 20%, and roll the dice, but he's just too good until proven otherwise. I just don't know against Cleveland anyway how you can fade him. So $7,900, you need to leave some room. That's where some of those other quarterbacks come in. I like Forte and Powell. Okay, Forte at 6,500, Powell the 4,100 cheaper option. Miami is the 30th ranked run defense. So the Jets are going to have to run the ball. Can't pass it. So they're going to have to run the ball in that game. And just keep an eye on Forte's health, because if he were to be banged up or have an injury designation, Powell could be awesome at 4,100. Kind of like Jonathan Stewart, if he's healthy. Again, there's been some reports of him sitting out yesterday, but I think he's okay. He's quietly scores 2 touchdowns a game, and that's a good matchup for him. Really good, $5,200. Keep an eye on the Spencer Ware situation. If he does not play, I think you have to play West at 4,400. He will be a chalk for sure play if that is the case. Not sure how he's going to do, but he's a good way to save some money and kind of move on to other positions. The other one, which is other two, which are a little outside the box. So Hightower looked great last week to replace Ingram. He just ran over people. He did his last year too, and the Saints play a terrible run defense in San Francisco. Their pass defense is actually sneakily better, seventh in the league, I think. So the Saints are going to run the ball more than we think, which is why Breeze is kind of a little iffy for me on that. And if it's Hightower and he's the guy that's starting and getting the carries, so check back on gppmaster.com Sunday to go on live chat, talk to Bill, talk to the team, make sure we know. But if Hightower is the starting running back and he's going to get a bulk of those carries, it's a pretty good bet. And Latavius Murray, sneaky, $4,000, seems to score every game. And quietly, the only way you're going to even move the ball in Denver at all is on the ground. They're 23rd against the run. That's because they're so good against the pass. So that's running back. Wide receiver, really important here. So let's do the stacks first. Tannehill, Landry, absolutely. I will be Landry. It's a cheap combination because of Tannehill's price. Landry's expensive, $7,100, I think. I'm going to be using Landry in other lineups, not just my stack. Love Landry tomorrow in a PPR DraftKings format here. Rivers with whoever's healthy. So if it's Williams, I like him the best. If he's out, then you like Benjamin. If none of them are healthy, then you got to think about it. Keep an eye on the tight end situation. But Rivers should throw the ball all over the field, and in that game, and you just got to kind of pick who do you think is his healthiest receiver. He kind of gets it to all of them. Between Benjamin and Williams, I would leave Inman on the side for that one. Aaron Rodgers. So love Jordy now. You know, I was said Jordy last week, and he had a great week. He scored a touchdown. But look, Devontae Adams is $5,900. You're saving a lot of money. The guy is scoring touchdowns. He's getting 10 targets a game. Ty Montgomery, if he plays, is going to be the number one running back, which takes him a little bit out of the deep receiving game. So Rodgers, Adams. Andrew Luck, you can go both ways here. Hilton's healthy now. It looks like he's going to play. Hilton, Moncrief, Doyle. You got a three-way there, and you got to spread it out. So I'm actually probably going to do a Hilton, Moncrief, Doyle, a Hilton, Luck. I'm sorry, a Luck, Moncrief, Doyle, a Luck, Hilton, Doyle lineup in that one. Breeze, you can go with Cooks, obviously, against San Francisco, but Thomas is a lot cheaper, $5,500, and getting a lot of targets. Again, if you're going to play Bradford at $5,000, then pair him with Diggs. Absolutely, you have to stack him with Diggs. Wallace in a revenge game versus the Steelers. Do not underestimate that with Flacco. And again, I love the two Denver receivers. I love Demaryius Thomas better because you're saving $3,000 from Sanders. Look, Demaryius Thomas is one of the best receivers in the NFL. He's $6,000 playing against the worst pass defense. Have to play him. I'm playing him in almost 80% of my lineups. And I like Kenny Britt a little bit, $4,400, because quietly he just keeps doing it, and New Orleans can't stop anybody. So, Kenny Britt, again, he's the guy. He keeps making plays. Tight end, I just said, stack Hilton with Doyle. You can use Doyle in other lineups. I like Rudolph a lot. Detroit is the 32nd ranked defense against tight ends. Bradford will look for Rudolph. So I said a dig stack, but you could actually do a double with Rudolph. And a real sleeper, really quiet, off the radar. Ladarius Green is expected to start and suit up for the Steelers at $2,500 this weekend. The guy is an absolute beast. They signed him to be their number one go-to tight end. Roethlisberger, back from an injury, will look to his tight end as he always does. And Ladarius Green, if he's going to play, again, check back with us on Sunday for live updates, before lineups and activations, who's active, who's not. But I love Ladarius Green. Ladarius Green, keep an eye on that, $2,500. And just keep an eye on the Gates-Henry situation because it looks like Hunter Henry is going to be out as of today. Check back on Sunday, always. But it looks like Hunter Henry is going to be out. And if he is, then, Gates is always a decent play there. Defensively, I'm going with the Chiefs for $3,500 at home versus Jacksonville. Bortles has struggled. At some point, he's going to break out, but I think at Kansas City is a tough place to do it. Pretty safe bet. I think Dallas stacked with Ezekiel Elliott again. Good bet against Cleveland as well. A little worry about a letdown game for Dallas here, especially if, but again, rookie quarterback. You stack him with Elliott, so you get that double whammy. All right, let's make it happen. This is a week to win. Play a lot of lineups. This is a week to win. Check with us Sunday morning. Have a good weekend. Good luck.